Well, firstly, can I just thank everyone for showing up today for what is a very important and critical announcement here at Hervey Bay. Today we are announcing that the federal government will be providing $7 million in funding to deliver a hospice at Fraser Coast for, of course, what is the most difficult time in a person's life. Can I congratulate the Fraser Coast Hospice Association for the work that they've done in terms of the development, and they have been successful in receiving a grant of $2.5 million in capital funds for the construction of a 6-bed hospice, and a further up to $7 million in total, including the 2.5, so $1.5 million a year for operational costs for the next 3 years.
Well, I think the stats, it's around about 80% of people would actually love to die at home, but only about 16% actually achieve that. And that's because of the increased pressure and struggle that families have in those last days with caring. So to make it the best sort of next thing for them is to provide a home-like situation where the carers can then become sister, daughter, wife, husband again, and there's specialist nursing and healthcare for them, but in a home-like environment. So it alleviates the stress of the situation at home, and it also alleviates that the panic, I guess, of should we call an ambulance? Should we get our loved one to ED because they're not quite sure what to do next. So instead of having a patient at that time of their lives in an ED situation or an acute ward situation where they don't need to be there, but there's no other place for them, it stops that from happening and gives them another option for somewhere else to go for those last few days of life. Yeah.
I really want to thank Keith Pitt for his advocacy in achieving this. We know that this has been effectively a missing piece in our healthcare system here on the Fraser Coast for many, many years. I think people right across the country were really, really touched by our paramedics, Danielle and Graham, in what they did for their patient here just on the Esplanade recently. I think that really showed that example a year or two ago, what palliative care is about, what care is really about in terms of when you're looking after somebody, in the twilight of their life, when you're looking after a family, when this sort of palliative care hospice is about ensuring that the most difficult time in a family's journey goes smoothly, goes comfortably. And so this hospice, I'm so excited. This is what we need here in Hervey Bay and the Fraser Coast. It fits in perfectly with the community spirit of ensuring that people are comfortable, that families are together, and that people say goodbye and live out their lives in dignity and ensures that they are comfortable. So I'm really pleased to be standing here with the federal government and with the Hospice Association for this momentous day for our community.